You're looking at the real deal now. Gonna kick this sorry ass out on the street. Say what you got. You used to think you owned the street. Well, pack your bags and your ass is dead meat.
How's it going, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Lowdown Show right here on No Holds Barred Wrestling Podcast. Your Canadian wrestling podcast that talks about WWE and NXT and No Holds Barred on anything we say, pun intended. You can follow the podcast on Twitter at No Holds Barred WP. You can follow myself at Real Kyle Masters, and you can follow my co-host at Corporate Cappy on Twitter as well. If you want to follow us on Instagram, No Holds Barred WP is where you can follow us on there. If you want to listen to us on the go, Spreaker, iTunes, and Stitcher Radio is where you can find us. Spreaker is a glorious podcast app that is available for all Android and Apple devices. It is free to download, free to make a profile, and allows you to chat with us live on the air right now. And you get to listen to all previous episodes of the podcast. If you want to watch any video versions of the podcast, and if you're watching this week's video version of the podcast, you see that right. That is a brand new Lowdown Show logo that I created. So for those of you listening live now, you're going to have to wait for that video version of the podcast to see the new logo. But it's a brand new design that I designed, and I really, really do like it. So get ready for that. So yeah, youtube.com/NHBWR is where you can find us on there. Hit that subscribe button, that bell icon for all upload updates. You can get 2K content, unboxings, and all video versions of the podcast, like I said. I am your host, the self-proclaimed greatest host, Kyle Masters, and I'm alone tonight. Corporate Cappy is unfortunately under the weather. His voice is really, really bad. I talked to him this morning, and he wouldn't have been able to do the show tonight, so hopefully he gets better. So Corporate Cappy, I know you're probably listening. Hope you get better, man. It's definitely a tough cold to deal with, especially at this time, and it sucks can't do the podcast. When you do have a cold, I've been there before. It really does take a toll on your voice, and it probably would have been a terrible show if you came on and did that. A lot of clearing of the throat and all that nonsense, but yes, feel better, Cappy. We got Tiffany in the chat from Deadass Podcast, guys. What's going on? Go check them out. A great relationship-based podcast. I'm actually going to be co-hosting on their episode tomorrow live on YouTube, so make sure you come hang out with us tomorrow night as we discuss the topic of third wheeling. Yes, I'm sure we've all been there before, so go check that out and subscribe to them, guys. We also got Cupid Girl 125 in the chat. Death's favorite child is back. What a lovely day. What a lovely Rusev day it is today. But I am alone in the studio today doing the Lowdown Show, guys. So bear with me. Doing a podcast alone, especially alone like we do a Lowdown Show, it's tough doing it alone. So bear with me as I try to get through it. But before we go anywhere, and before we get through anything and all that mumbo-jumbo, got to get these out of the way. So, guys, if you're watching the video version of the podcast, it's up there. If not, if you're listening, listen in. Go check out WrestleRumble.com, or you can check them out on Twitter at WrestleRumble. They do a fantastic pick'em. If you're into that thing, you can buy a single entry, 3 entries, multiple entries. Go check them out, guys. They do fantastic pick'em contest. I've entered in a couple already, and you can win some unreal prizes. They are doing a Fastlane one. If you're up on the screen there, if not, listen in. First prize is any championship belt of your choice from the WWE shop. Any replica belt, not the commemorative belts, the replica belts of your choice. If you win the Fastlane Pick'em contest, and you also get 50 MVP points. And from 2nd to 20th place, there are MVP points up for grabs. If you want to know more about the MVP system, go check out WrestleRumble.com, guys, and go give them a follow on Twitter as well, at WrestleRumble, or at WrestleRumble on Twitter. Also, go check out Collar and Elbow, the wrestling brand. They are a fantastic wrestling brand company, guys. I can vouch for that. I'm actually going to be ordering a sweater tomorrow by them. I've heard their sweaters are really comfortable. But www.collarandelbowbrand.com is where you can find that. And I have a promo code for you guys to use from a good friend of Tiff's and a good friend of our podcast at JumboRef123 on Twitter. He's giving us a promo code for us to use, and that is Jumbo. And then you save 10% on checkout when you order from collarandelbowbrand.com. And lastly but not least, our friends at ExtremeWrestlingShirts.com, guys. They specialize in pro wrestling and MMA apparel with over 50,000 t-shirts, sweatshirts, costumes, DVDs, pendants in stock. And the best part is, it is free shipping. Yes, you heard that right. Free shipping to the U.S. and Canada. All you have to do is pay for the item itself. There's no hidden fees or nothing like that. It is free shipping, standard shipping. If you want to pay for the express shipping, it allows you to do that, but it's free standard shipping to the U.S. and Canada. If you live outside U.S. and Canada, you got to buy at least 3 items, and then your shipping is free. But I guarantee you, once you check out this website, you're going to want to buy more than 3 items. I can assure you that, guys. I've ordered a lot from ExtremeWrestlingShirts.com. They are a fantastic clothing wrestling branded website. They have a lot of stuff with the WWE shop has and a lot of their own merchandise, and it's really comfortable clothing. It's not cheap, so guys, go check them out. And yeah, free shipping, like I just said. Nothing better than that than free shipping. Other than that, it's all the plugs out of the way. So let's just dive in right to the Lowdown Show, guys. If you don't know what the Lowdown Show is, every single week, me and one of my co-hosts is on here. We review NXT. We used to do the main roster, and it sucks because I really want to, but there'd be so much yelling, there'd be so much hate because the main roster is just so bad, and we saw how bad SmackDown, again, consistently being bad on a weekly basis. I don't want to come on here and complain the entire time. So we do NXT. We feel good about NXT. To us, NXT is the A brand. It produces good shows week after week. You can't argue with it. I wish it was longer, but you know what? And even tonight, we only got 45 minutes tonight, and it was still better than whatever SmackDown and half of Raw put up this week. Speaking of Raw, like, what was going on this week? Like, I'm watching it, I'm like, are we actually on the road to WrestleMania? Because I get nothing from the show that's making me feel excited for WrestleMania. I'm even going. Like, myself and Corporate Cappy and a bunch of other goon friends that we have, we're driving down there. And I want to be excited for this show. But to me, it's like, I'm only excited for one match so far, and that's one announced match, and that is the triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship. That's like the only match right now that I'm excited for. Don't even get me started on the Roman and the Brock Lesnar thing. We don't know what the hell is going to go down with that. I mean, today, the Johnny Bravo guy, whatever the fuck his name is, has now come out and said that he tweeted a photo or put on Snapchat or whatever of John Cena could be tying into this now. Like, oh my God, like this thing is just going to explode one day. And I read today that he said that he's taking time in making this video because he wants to be covered on, basically wants to cover his ass on all aspects of this and make sure as soon as he releases it, you know, he's going to have to go in hiding. So we'll see what happens with that. But as for Raw this week, again, nothing got me excited. Yeah, we got the whole Rousey and Kurt Angle thing and Triple H and Stephanie. I mean, that was sort of cool. It was all right to me. I don't know. I really wasn't looking too much forward to it because they keep having Ronda come out and smile. They got to stop that. They got to stop with the Ronda smile. It's literally the cringiest thing ever. She's not the type of girl to come out and smile. What is up with that? I don't understand. She's built up as this badass ultimate girl in UFC. Like, did she ever smile in UFC? I don't remember her smiling once in UFC. She always came out and kicked the fucking chick's ass every single time without a smile. She comes out in WWE, the first 3 shows she comes out, she's smiling. Can you please stop smiling? For the love of God, Ronda Rousey, stop smiling. Come out, get that angry face on your face like we saw in the second part of the segment this week, and keep that face. You're supposed to be going into WrestleMania hating Steph's guts, not coming out and saying, oh, no, I could, no, enough of that. That's got to stop. Done with that. It's done. Yeah, Ronda needs to point more. Yeah, because she just come out and point the WrestleMania. As long as she's not smiling, she pointed the WrestleMania sign, whatever. Everyone does that. We're used to that. As long as she's not smiling, I don't give a shit what she does. Just point the sign and then take the same hand and swing around and clock Stephanie in the face. Please. Just give us something than this smiling crap Ronda Rousey every goddamn week. It's terrible. But yes, we have the Manic Artistic in the chat. What's going on? New to the chat. How are you doing? We got Glorious Greg, our Twitter fan of the year from last year. What is going on, Glorious Greg? And congrats to you on being we got partnered, I think, with Twitch there. I think that's what happened. So congrats to you, Glorious Greg. He has he does some more gaming, but mostly Fortnite, what I've seen on Glorious Greg's Twitch channel. So good for you, Glorious Greg. But yeah, that's just it did something for me. I mean, yes, we all knew that it was going to be Rousey and Angle, where there was the rumors of The Rock, but looks like they couldn't get The Rock to come, so now it's Angle. Sure, it is what it is. I'm not that excited for it. Again, it's one of those things that WrestleMania every year for the last couple of years have had like that nostalgia moment. on the card, and that's the thing that sticks out. So this is going to be that nostalgia moment. We're going to see what Ronda Rousey's all about. I hope it's something better than what we got this week. I don't know what the fuck that was. I don't know if that was a botch or she meant to do that. Whatever you want to call the move she did this week. She kind of looked out of place a little bit. Hopefully there was something better to come with Ronda Rousey. Other than that, we got freaking like John Cena and Goldust for whatever goddamn reason. I think WWE just loves to put filler crap out there that really makes no sense. I don't know what the fuck Goldust has to do with this whole thing with John Cena and his road to WrestleMania, but it's like they're like, oh, we never done Goldust and Cena before. Let's just do it randomly. Yeah, you can do it randomly, but on the road to WrestleMania? Give me a fucking break here. I don't want to see Goldust and John Cena go at it, especially at this time in their career. Oh my god, like what are we watching, Legends of Wrestling? What is this? Oh my god. Anyway, it was just, I watched it and I'm like, I really didn't need to watch this. I was curious, but I really didn't need to watch it. As for the rest of Raw, we got the Ultimate Deletion coming. That's something to get excited about, I guess. I'm hearing rumors that it actually might not even happen at Mania. I'm hearing it might happen on the go-home show for Mania. So then what the fuck are they going to do at WrestleMania? I mean, I know you can't really have the final deletion match at WrestleMania because that would entitled to be on the Hardy compound, and literally I don't know if people in the WrestleMania stands want to sit there and look at a match on the screen for 25 minutes. They'd rather see something in that arena, right? To me, I see the way they're doing it in that sense, but then what the fuck are those two going to do at WrestleMania if they're going to have the Ultimate Deletion match, the Raw before WrestleMania? I got nothing. I don't know what the hell you do after that. I'm literally drawing a blank. So, yeah, delete. I hope they delete this feud from our minds after this because I'm sick and tired of Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy already. It's got to end. It's got to come to an end. I love the whole Matt Hardy broken gimmick thing, but I want it to flourish. I want it to see what it's going to do with other superstars and other feuds. It's got to grow. It got to stop with the whole Bray Wyatt thing. It's kind of run its course already. So we'll see what happens. Other than that, I mean, Roman and Heyman's promo did nothing for me. I mean, to me, the whole time I'm sitting there watching it, I'm going like, what if this thing that's happening behind the scenes actually comes true? Is this all going to be for nothing? Because WWE is going to be forced to suspend Roman Reigns. If this comes out and it's sufficient enough evidence, WWE's going to have to be forced to suspend Roman Reigns. It's going to suck if it's John Cena too, because they're going to have to suspend that guy. I'm so curious to see what they're going to do if this thing comes out and it blows up, whenever that's going to happen, and what they are going to do with Roman Reigns. Because I've heard from a lot of people saying, oh, they're just going to nix it and still have the main event and then punish Roman after. But then from my side, I'm going, okay, but then what message does that send to the locker room? Like, the rest of the locker room would probably get suspended right away, like the day of. But then you're going to let it slide for Roman Reigns? I mean, you're just going to create maybe an uproar in the locker room, or, it's going to create something backstage and a lot of heat backstage. And I'm sure WWE wants to stay away from all that. So if something happens to Roman Reigns here, you got to punish him right away. Can't wait till after WrestleMania. So, and with the reports of the backup plan being Braun Strowman, they should have probably already be doing this right now. Just in case. Like, they should be already quick firing. I know Vince really wants his main event of Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns, but that's got to stop. Because Vince, regardless if this news comes out or not, and it is true or not, people are going to shit all over that match at WrestleMania. I don't know if they know that this match is going to be exactly, I'm telling you right now, mark my words, this match at WrestleMania, if it happens, is going to be just like Goldberg and Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 20. I kid you not. You think about that match back then when they knew that Brock and Goldberg were leaving the company. You think about this, you think about nowadays, or with this match, they know Brock Lesnar is leaving for the UFC. Everyone knows that. They know that Roman Reigns is just about to be handed the title. They know the outcome of this match before it even fucking happens. We knew the outcome a year ago before it was even announced. So I don't get what they think they're trying to do now by trying to make Roman Reigns this fucking hero and making him go against Brock Lesnar and start telling people week after week, oh, Lesnar doesn't give a fuck about this company. He doesn't give a crap. He's a bitch. You're not going to get Roman Reigns on you're not getting anyone on Roman Reigns' side here, WWE. I'm telling you right now, it's the WrestleMania crowd is a completely different crowd than these casual central fucks, these little towns you go to on a weekly basis leading up to WrestleMania. Yeah, Roman might get a good reaction there, but you know he's gonna get eaten alive by the crowd at WrestleMania, even the Raw after WrestleMania. We saw what happened last year at the Raw after WrestleMania. It's just, it's terrible. It's a terrible idea. I agree with Manic Artistic in the chat. AJ and Shinsuke should be the main event. Save yourself a huge shit show of a main event and put the Lesnar and Brock, if you're going to have it, in the same slot as you had the Universal title match last year, or even a little bit more ahead. Just save yourself a massive headache of a shit show of a main event. Because people are going to go nuts for this match. Not nuts in the good way that they want. Nuts, as in they're going to shit all over this match. It's going to be bad. Mark my words. Anyway, SmackDown wasn't even great to talk about. SmackDown's streak of terrible shows continues. I don't know what the fuck I watched this week. Is that even a wrestling show? Like, I'm sitting there, and half the time I'm sitting there going, okay, did I turn closed caption on? Like, why is there bubbly words jumping out at me on the screen here? Can that stop? What is this cheap editing crap? Why do you need to do this? Raw doesn't do it, or it sometimes does it, like there's the odd time, but why do you need to do it? It's so bad. It's so cheesy. It just looks absolutely terrible. Absolutely garbage. I don't think anyone enjoys it. No one's sitting there going, oh, you know, I really enjoy the bubbly letters that pop out on the screen because I really wasn't sure what the wrestler was saying. That's what closed caption's for. Don't give me this bubbly letter shit. I'm sitting there with the TV loud enough so I can hear what they're saying. The words don't need to fucking come out at me in 3D. That's enough of that. Enough with the cheap editing, words popping out crap, or the sing-along, whatever they want to fucking do. That's got to end. It's terrible. It's cheap. It makes it look like shit. It's god-awful. It makes the show already worse than it already is with the booking of they have. Booking of SmackDown has been horrendous the last couple of weeks. This feud with Jinder Mahal and Bobby Roode and Randy Orton is like the worst feud I've ever seen. Bobby Roode on commentary as a babyface is like the most annoying thing I've ever heard in the entire world. It makes me sick, him sitting there and talking about respecting Randy Orton. Where's the fucking Bobby Roode from NXT that doesn't give a shit about anybody and only respects himself? I want that Bobby Roode. I don't want this fucking Bobby Roode literally saying he respects Randy Orton after every other word on commentary this week. That's got to end. Babyface Bobby Roode was the worst decision they've ever done. It is so bad. I couldn't. I'm sitting there going, and I got to endure Jinder Mahal against Randy Orton, where Jinder actually won. I'm like, okay, so he's definitely going to be added to Fastlane. I don't know when they're going to announce it. They're going to announce it the day of, or he gets added to the match. What does this mean? Is he the number one contender of whoever wins that match? Like, they didn't do anything after that. They didn't announce anything. I was actually shocked that he wasn't added to the match at Fastlane. But now it looks like he's just going to be the number one contender after Fastlane. Great. I can't wait for that. Anyways, other than SmackDown was just absolutely garbage. They gave away the main event of Fastlane already. We had the Fatal 5-Way without John Cena at the end of Fastlane. Like, really? They really needed to give away the main event already. Why do they do this? Why in the hell do they give us the main event? Like, they basically gave it away. We now guarantee everything that we saw in this match on SmackDown this week is going to happen exactly the same way in the match on Sunday, just plus John Cena. Why do they do that? Why? They really didn't need to do that. I know a lot of people, even myself, said on Twitter, well, at least we're not getting a tag team match like we usually get. But this wasn't even this was even worse. The match should have just ended with Styles and Ziggler at the main event. That should have been the last part of SmackDown, and at the end, after the match was done, could have had everyone come out and just fucking beat the shit out of each other to end the show, and you can have the end of the show just turn off as everyone's still beating the crap out of each other around the ring. Or you can have someone look strong, maybe Baron Corbin, I don't know, look strong over everybody. Just don't give me this fucking Fatal 5-Way crap and give away the match already before Fastlane even happens. Just, god-awful, Terrible shit. Michael Chow TV is in the chat. What's going on, Michael Chow TV? Guys, he does an awesome wrestling podcast as well. He is also available on Spreaker. Go give him a follow. He also reviews Raw and SmackDown as well, so go check him out. He puts, notice how the SmackDown top 10 has gone missing. Yeah, where the hell is that? I got another thing to add to the list of shit on SmackDown Live, because literally it's been shit the last couple of weeks. But anyways, enough of me ranting, enough of me talking about the main roster, because it's absolutely horrendous. Let's talk about the A show. In our minds, it's the A show. If you guys agree with us out there, I don't know why you're not agreeing, because NXT puts up a good show every single week. There was some criticism this week, though, from me, but again, it still beat whatever Raw and SmackDown put out there. Oh, and I want to give a shout-out to 205 Live for putting up a good show, too. In like 45 minutes, it beat out whatever SmackDown produced this week. 205 Live is growing into a huge show, and it's going to get some big boosts after WrestleMania, with now the rumors of the Cruiserweight Tag Team titles being introduced. That's going to be huge for 205 Live. So, I can't wait for that. We might even do a 205 Live review added into the Lowdown show starting after WrestleMania. We're thinking about it. I wouldn't mind thinking about it anyways, because 205 Live is literally a breath of fresh air since Hunter took over. Anyways, yes, let's talk about NXT, baby. Yes, we had a bit of Adam Cole this week as well. So we'll start off. I have my notes here. There we go. I don't know why I had them. Where did I just put my notes? There we go. All right. It was highlighted. This episode was highlighted by the start of the Dusty Rhodes Classic tournament. I can't wait for this tournament. Again, this is definitely a different direction this year. As you remember, last year we had a bunch of the teams that were just thrown together in that Dusty Rhodes Classic, and AOP was the winners of that one. And me and my co-host actually saw that live at NXT TakeOver Toronto last year as well. Or not last year, 2 years ago. Wow. We started off with AOP against TM61, so round one of the Dusty Rhodes Classic, already off to a start here at NXT, and crowd was very, very behind TM61. This was basically an official rematch of the last year's final of the DRC. TM61 getting basically dominated for most of this matchup. Then we got a hot tag from Nick Miller, and Thorne started to gain momentum. And I got a big knee to the face by Razor, man. That was a huge knee. And AOP actually hit this like powerbomb neckbreaker, which looked pretty cool. But Nick Miller ended up breaking it up. I thought actually it was going to be the end of the match. They eventually tag, and Nick Miller hits this like very, very clean moonsault, which was really well done. I thought that was going to be the end of the match. I wasn't shocked if it. I was actually shocked that it wasn't, because Akam then comes in and breaks it up. And then we get this spot, and I swear to God, I think Shane Thorne is dead. Like, I don't think anyone checked on him after. I didn't see the camera look at him after. He was motionless after I seen the end of this clip. Shane Thorne literally gets powerbombed out of the ring by either, I don't remember if it was Akam or Rizar, one of those guys. Powerbombed out of the ring. He lands on the ring apron and then falls to the floor. It was a crazy spot. I don't know what. That was an intense spot, man. I hope Nick Miller or Shane Thorne is okay after that spot. That was intense. And it was a crazy, crazy, crazy spot. AOP took advantage of this and ended up hitting that that clothesline Russian leg sweep for the win. Was not expecting that. I was not expecting TM61 here to get buried. After what they did with them returning and they hyped them up, they had a 2-week promo video for these guys, like a part 1 and a part 2. I thought these guys were going to get a good push. And then when they announced the Dusty Rhodes Classic, I'm like, okay, TM61 is definitely going to go along in this tournament, even maybe make it to the finals again. But no, they get defeated by AOP. I was not expecting AOP to move on in this tournament. I thought they were going to lose in the first round. They weren't going to see them, and then they were going to get called up at WrestleMania. But AOP come out on top here, and I'm like, oh, that's just a poor, poor burial of TM61 now. Man, there is so much momentum behind these guys with them coming back, and then they just run into AOP again, a rematch of the finals of last year. And it was a really crazy match, and then they get buried, and it's like, what? I don't know what. Me and Cappy hate AOP. There's probably people out there love AOP. It is what it is, but we're not fans of Authors of Pain. We both didn't think that this was a good idea for them to win here. I hope that AOP does get eliminated in this next round. We'll see what happens, but AOP coming out on top here, very, very interesting. Michael Chow TV saying Authors of Sleep are the defending Dusty Rhodes champs. Makes sense. Plus, I hear Triple H loves AOP. Yeah, of course he loves AOP. But as soon as Vince gets his hands on him, Michael, you know what's going to happen. Oh, okay. Oh, here comes hard. Look at you guys. Oh, you're Samoan. Oh, only thing to do with you guys. Roman, got your new security team over here. You know it's coming. You know it's coming. Anyways, let's move on here. We had a really cool stare down in the parking lot. This was actually really, really well done, and it got me really, really hyped because of the people involved. Like, this was intense. It started out with William Regal talking about the Dusty Rhodes Classic, someone asking him a dark horse pick. He said he had to go. As he's leaving, Pete Dunne's walking into the parking lot, and the reporters jump all over him, asking him about what his UK match, title match he had with Roderick Strong, and then Roderick Strong comes face to face with Pete Dunne, basically asking him for a rematch. And then the Undisputed Era come in, and we're like questioning Ryan, is this guy asking you for a rematch? And they're chirping both of them. And Pete Dunne came out with this like really like sassy like comeback saying, "What the hell have you done here?" it was awesome. Sorry about the accent. I had to do with the accent, but they kind of have a stare down, and it was very, very intriguing. And it was announced later in the night that next week we're actually getting Adam Cole against Pete Dunne next week for the UK title. So huge match next week. I'm so hyped for that match. I was excited when they announced that. So next week we're getting Pete Dunne against Adam Cole for the UK Championship. I can't wait to see that next week. I'm so hyped for that. I can't wait. I love Undisputed Era. If you guys are watching the video version of this podcast, you can see I'm wearing the shirt. I can't wait for that match next week. Two of my dudes going at it, man. Like, I love Adam Cole and I love Undisputed Era. And Pete Dunne is my favorite ever since I seen him in the UK tournament last year. That he's been like my favorite ever since. Huge fan of Pete Dunne. So both these guys going at it. Take my fucking money. You know, it's for free, but just take my money. Over in the chat, Manic Artistics thinks that Sanity's going to win. That's a pretty good pick, man. They had a really good backstage promo tonight. Michael Chow says, yeah, Vince probably makes AOP the first ever Universal co-champs. Oh, God. That'd make me sick, but I wouldn't be surprised. So, yeah, Sanity cuts this, like, really cool promo about the Dusty Rhodes Classic back in, like, this, like, grungy-looking area of backstage, acting all crazy, saying that they're going to purge, you know, shit like that. And then it kind of cuts to Killian Dane coming in, and he says that Aleister Black, that the Chaos is going to win tonight against him. So Killian Dane and Aleister Black are set to go one-on-one. That was the main event tonight. But we had Bianca Belair coming up next. She faced an enhancement talent, or if you people out there like to call local jobbers. Her name was Renee something. I didn't catch her last name. I was trying to listen closely because me and Cappy always try to get the full names and just try to remember them for next time in case we see them again. It was Renee something. If any of you guys know out there in the chat, you know what her name is, Renee, whatever, let me know. But I know it was Renee. But anyways, really, really quick 2-minute squash match. They keep doing these things with Bianca Belair. Crowd was very quiet after. I don't blame them. Like, there was not even a hair whip. That's like what she's known for. A lot of people remember her from the Mae Young Classic for her hair whip. Why didn't she at least whip the chick once, even after the match? Why was there no hair whip? Come on. Give me a hair whip. That's one critique I have about NXT tonight. We didn't get one fucking hair whip by Bianca Belair. Why was there not a hair whip? It was like the quickest 2-minute match ever. It was literally almost shorter than Lesnar and Goldberg. Like, this was terrible. I don't know why they keep doing it. I'd rather see her face someone else. Maybe her against Lacey Evans or someone else from the Classic to bring back. To me, it's just like she's got to be done with these enhancement talents. I know they're really, really high on her. I know they're planning on pushing her really big. They can't do too many of these enhancement talent matches because then people are going to lose interest. I don't know if it's a way to get more heat on her because a lot of the crowd tonight were hoping that she'd whip someone with the hair and she never did, and they're kind of giving her crap for that. So who knows? But I do see a lot of Sasha Banks in here, like boss-like aneurysms. Cappy actually did tell me it looks like a Sasha Banks and Jazz love child, which is just pretty funny. But yeah, interesting. I want to know what they're going to do with Bianca Belair. I know they're really high. The officials at NXT are really high on her, so it'll be interesting to see with her. Over the chat, Michael Chow TV. I loved Pete Dunne, Adam Cole's interaction. This is why I love NXT. They don't do repetitive matches. If it was the main roster, we'd see Dunne versus Strong again. Or we'd probably see Dunne and Tyler Bate go at it for like the 800th time if it was the main roster. Or them doing buddy Festival of Friendship crap like they're doing with Zayn and Owens. Like, we don't know where the fuck that's going. We already got the tease this week for that. Cuber125 puts, what sort of world we live in without a hair whip? Right? What world is this? This is NXT, goddammit. I expect hair whips on demand. Miss Drew Renee. Okay, thank you, Michael Chow. We got a name for this enhancement talent. It is Miss Drew Renee. So we'll definitely have to remember that, along with our pals, the tag team that 1 week. Riley Star or Riley Apex and something Star. I forget the name already. Cappy hasn't written down, but yes, we're definitely going to remember that name. We had a backstage interview with Lacey Evans. It was like some kind of live event. It was really weird because they're trying to interview Lacey Evans here, and then whatever was going on at the event was literally taking over the interview. I think they could have done a better job of doing this, maybe silencing the background. But anyways, it is what it is. She was cutting a promo on Dakota Kai, basically running her down, saying, oh, she's still limping around from her match with Baszler, and she's been coming in and out of the trainer's room at the PC, and just running her down. And she said that they're going to go one-on-one next week. So we're getting Lacey Evans versus Dakota Kai. So that's something new. We got more women's division matches, what we were talking about the last couple of weeks in the Lowdown show, what they needed. We need some more women's matches here. Ooh. Sorry, I almost pulled the cord of my microphone here. We need some more women's matches here to get some hype for this women's division on NXT. So we're getting Lacey Evans, Dakota Kai next week. Baszler then comes in, and Lacey says that she has to go. Basically scared the crap out of Lacey, and she's off the races. Baszler calling out Ember Moon for being silent and not answering Baszler's call-outs, basically. So Baszler basically says, I guess I know my answer, and walks away. So it's very interesting that they're keeping Ember Moon quiet here with the whole Baszler calling her out. I don't know if that's an intimidation factor for Ember Moon, or if this is done on purpose to piss her off more. I don't know if you want to piss Shayna Baszler off anymore, Ember Moon. We've seen what she's done to you the last couple of matches, basically almost torn your arm off its socket. So it's like she wants to keep poking the bear. I don't get it here. So maybe we get an answer from this sometime in the coming weeks. I know it's probably going to lead to eventually a rematch at New Orleans. Whether or not it's going to include Kairi Sane or not, we're going to find out. But anyways, back to the chat. We get Tiffany saying, I whip my hair back and forth. I will not be singing that. Yes, I do remember the song. Chris Starr and Riley Apex. That's it. Cupid Girl 125 reminding us of the great team, the best tag team in the world, Chris Starr and Riley Apex. So thank you, Cupid Girl 125. Next, we had a really quick promo. It was literally like 10 seconds long. It was just a training session with heavy machinery. I was dying at it. I don't really remember what they said. It was funny. Basically hyping themselves up for the Tag Team Classic. I think their first round matchup is against the Street Profits. Yes, which they announced. I'll get it to that. But really, really cool promo here. Very, very interesting. Out came Tommaso Ciampa to no music at all, just dragging the crutch on the stage, getting freaking booed out of the building here, just getting eaten alive by this crowd. Crowd chanting, "We want Johnny" a bunch of times. It actually started getting to Tommaso Ciampa. He's getting pissed off. He eventually was walking around ringside, and there was this fan with it. I don't know if this was placed or not, if there's actually a fan sign. To me, it felt like it was an actual fan sign. He had a Johnny Gargano sign, and he rips out of the guy's hands, brings it into the ring, and rips it, and then starts beating the shit out of the sign with the crutch. Like, Tommaso Ciampa basically living up, and a lot of people were confused by this and really going like, what the hell is he doing? He's living up to his nickname, Psycho Killer. He's supposed to act like a psycho and act like this. He's living up to his gimmick. So I love this. I love everything about this promo. He didn't say one word. And then he just left after that. He got up on the stage, the crowd chanting more, and then he leaves. And it was really, really well done promo, and I'm hoping we're getting more to this. Again, it's really, really tough to see where they're going to do this. I don't know if this is going to lead to a TakeOver New Orleans match with like an unsanctioned match, or if this is going to drag along farther past NXT TakeOver New Orleans. Who knows? But this is a very, very well done promo, and it's going to be interesting to see where they go from here with this. But this was great. Ciampa living up to the Psycho Killer thing and getting like the rain seat, and basically he was like trying to talk, and the crowd was like booing him so much to cut him off, which was great. That's the heat that he's looking for. They did such a good job with this promo, man. Something you don't see in the main roster a lot. So yeah, after this is where they announce a lot of stuff for next week, and get hyped for next week, guys, because next week's episode of NXT is jam-packed already. We got Adam Cole against Pete Dunne for the UK Championship. We got Sanity versus Tito Sabatelli and Rick Moss in a round 1 of the Dusty Rhodes Classic. And we also got the Street Profits versus Heavy Machinery in round 1 as well. So 2 Dusty Rhodes Classic matches next week, and Adam Cole and Pete Dunne for the UK title, plus more are probably going to get. So another jam-packed episode of NXT. I'm guessing that's why they cut it off at 45 minutes. This week, and I honestly thought when they ended the match, this next match, the main event, at 45, I honestly thought we were going to get what I read on Twitter. I read something on Twitter. I think they probably misread it. It was an article, and I think they mistyped it. But they said on tonight's NXT's episode, William Regal was going to announce this special announcement. And I'm going, okay, and I read it, and I'm going, oh my God, what me and Cappy have been literally wishing for like the last couple of months on NXT is going to happen. And I was misled. I thought it was going to be announced tonight, and it wasn't. I was really, really shocked. But I really want to talk about it. So if you don't want to hear this spoiler right now, I suggest I'm going to only talk about it I'm going to time myself for 2 minutes, and then after that, I'll go back into talking about the main event. So I'm going to start, when I say spoiler, that is when I'm going to start the timer for 2 minutes and talk about what I read tonight. So here we go. In 4, 3, 2, 1. Spoiler alert. All right, giving you time to go away. Okay, so if you're still here, we are going to get a mid-card championship. Yes, NXT is finally going to get a mid-card championship. And no, it is not the WWE UK title like we thought it was going to be. So William Regal came out, which I thought was going to be on tonight's episode of NXT. I guess it's probably going to be next week. He comes out and announces that a new championship is coming to NXT, and that is the NXT North American Championship. Yes, you heard that right. The North American Championship is coming to NXT, and it's going to be decided at TakeOver New Orleans in a 6-man ladder match to determine the first champion, and he already announced the first participant in this match will be EC3. So he's going to be debuting at NXT TakeOver New Orleans in that match. I put him as a high pick for that match, and we're finally getting a mid-card championship. So that's all I'm going to say about that, guys, until it is announced. So we'll move on now into the main event of NXT, and we got Aleister Black versus Killian Dane. I was really excited for this match. They were kind of hyping it up earlier in the night that Black and Dane were going to go at it one-on-one. It's basically billed as a number 1 contenders match. The winner of this match would get the momentum to go up against Cien Almas for the championship at TakeOver New Orleans. Both showing great offense out of the gate here. They're both going at each other really hard. Very good back and forth matchup. A lot of innovative moves in this match. So I was really, really impressed with this. Black looking like he's taking a toll. He was taking a toll a lot in this match. Something you don't really see a lot out of Aleister Black. He's taking a bigger toll than he usually does in matches in NXT. So Killian Dane was really a lot for him. So I'm assuming he's going to give him props for this match. And then all of a sudden we got a Black Mass out of nowhere. Literally it was just like that, out of nowhere. If you blinked, you missed it. Black Mass out of nowhere, and I tweeted on Twitter, Black Mass out of nowhere is far better, greater than RKO out of nowhere. Black Mass is just a sick finishing move, and that was it. And damn, I didn't think it was going to end that quick, but Aleister Black with the big victory here over Killian Dane, and is the surefire number 1 contenders match. I think a lot of people would rather see Nat Black versus Cien Almas for the title at TakeOver New Orleans, and that is going to tear the house down at TakeOver New Orleans. And then, again, NXT ends 15 minutes early, but they did what they needed to do. It was a jam-packed episode, and it leaves room for the other tapings to be even more jam-packed. So that's probably why they ended it early, so they can cut a break maybe, or maybe this is where they tape the Regal segment that he announces, what I announced earlier. I'm not going to spoil it again. But yeah, it's incredible. I can't believe we got all that in tonight's episode of NXT. It was really, really well done. We're better than whatever Raw put up. I was going to say the whole Raw, but there's some aspects of Raw this week that were okay. So it was definitely better than half of Raw and better than all of SmackDown. 205 Live and NXT are just way, way superior than the main roster crap. And it's funny because who's running both shows? Yes, Hunter, Triple H. Can you imagine if he was running the main roster full-time and giving full creative license, man? The main roster would be such a night and day difference. So, where's Lars Sullivan? Michael Shupp in the chat. I did hear he was, I heard the injury. I heard he violated the drug policy. I don't know what's going on with him. There's a big push behind the guy, so this really sucks because I thought he was going to get pushed big here. I don't know if maybe they're saving it now for Killian Dane. Now that Killian Dane is probably officially out of that title picture. Maybe maybe Killian Dane comes out or something like that. They start the feud because I want to see Lars Sullivan and Killian Dane go at it. I think both those big guys could put up a really good, huge guy kind of contest. So I'm hoping we see Lars Sullivan back soon. Hopefully everything does clear up with him, man. He was definitely a big part of the NXT roster. He was getting a lot of momentum, getting built up behind him. So we'll see what happens with that. Other than that, guys, I got no list of 10 segment this week. I'm just going to cut that out of the show, and we'll bring it back next week. But I will get into your fan tweets out there once I pull them up here. But, let me know what you guys think. Did you guys enjoy NXT tonight? I think a lot of you guys would agree. It was definitely a really, really great show this week. So we will see what happens with next week, man. We already got a jam-packed show already booked for next week. I'm really looking forward to Adam Cole and Pete Dunne now for that UK Championship. So we'll see what happens. So let's get into the tweets out there, and let me go down the list here, and we'll start off with Michael Chow at Michael Chow TV. Guys, like I said, an awesome wrestling podcast as well. He's available on Spreaker. He does Raw and SmackDown reviews as well. Go check him out. If you like us, you will definitely like Michael Chow TV. Great supporter of our podcast. We are a great supporter of his podcast, so go check him out. He puts NXT was great. It's the only show I watch live now. I DVR Raw and SmackDown live because I've officially had enough. I do not blame you, Michael Chow. I actually didn't watch Raw this week. I was actually at a hockey game in Buffalo, so I completely missed the entire. I can't even speak. See, when I talk about Raw, I start botching. I completely missed Raw. I had to watch the highlights the next day. He also puts Michael Chow question, more like a trick question. Explain to me how this makes sense. Cena is in the main event of SmackDown Live pay-per-view, but shows up on Raw to talk about SmackDown Live, but doesn't show up on SmackDown Live. Does anyone else have said, oh, God, you just gave me a headache with that. That was so confusing. I was really like expecting him not to show up on Raw this week and only on SmackDown. It really doesn't make sense. Plus, now he showed up on Raw, and he did that whole thing with Goldust, because who knows why that even makes sense. I don't know why him and Goldust did anything. It had nothing to do with SmackDown. So he shows up on Raw to promote a SmackDown Live pay-per-view, and then the go-home show for that SmackDown Live pay-per-view doesn't even show up. Oh, it was just a cringe fest. I really do not want to know what the fuck his plan is for WrestleMania. I hope it's something better than what we got rumored. Actually, the rumor was it was Rey Mysterio, but that's gone out of the way because now I guess he has a torn rotator cuff, so that's out of the question. So we'll see what happens. I don't know if it's going to be Taker. We'll see. But yeah, that is very confusing, Michael Chow. I can't answer that question for you. That was definitely very, very confusing. Yeah, just, you know what, just for that. We're not going to have a list of 10 seconds, but for Raw and SmackDown being so shitty this week.
You know what? You just made the list.
Yeah, I had to get a list soundboard in there at least once. Anyways, let's get into some more tweets, and that comes from our Twitter fan of the year. That's right. It comes from our Twitter fan of the year, and that is Glorious Greg, and he gets his own theme song before every one of his tweets. And guys, you want to have your own theme song played before any one of your tweets, all you have to do is win our 2018 Fan of the Year. We announce at the end of the year Slammies, and you get your own theme song by your choosing of your own theme song played before every one of your tweets, and a shout out on our show. So shout out to you, Glorious Greg, in choosing that glorious theme song, I may add. He puts, man, NXT was awesome. Can I just say Aleister Black is amazing? Yeah, the guy is incredible. The amount of skill Aleister Black has in that ring is by far the greatest thing ever. I hope once he gets called to that main roster, they do something huge with him. Maybe 205 Live is even bigger than it already is. By then, we can push him on 205 Live, because on the main roster into Vince's hands, who knows where the hell that guy's going to go. So yeah, Aleister Black looks amazing. I agree with you there, Glorious Greg. He also puts, what cruiserweights do you think will become tag team partners, and what teams would you like to see be formed? So far we got Hideo Itami and Tozawa, which is interesting. If I could think of anything off the top of my head, I'd love to see Mustafa Ali and Cedric be a team. Those guys really have a good dynamic in the ring. The Luchadors make sense. They're probably going to go in that route with Kalisto and one of the other Luchadors, and maybe they have a 3-man faction and do the Freebird rule like the New Day. God, off the top of my head, Drew Gulak and Tony Nese was a good team. I hope they get back together. And I can't really think of any more at the top of my head. I'll think about that and I'll get back to you, Glorious Greg. It's a really good question there. But I can't wait for this tag team division 205 Live. They're hyping up tag team titles after the WrestleMania, so we'll see what happens. And lastly, do you think the Singh brothers will join 205 Live tag division? See, that's a good team right there. I think they should bring back the Bollywood Boys. They got to get away from Jinder Mahal. Looks like they don't give a fuck about him anymore. I mean, someone pointed out on SmackDown this week in this little little nameplate thing. They didn't even write down he's a former WWE champion. It's like they don't really give a crap about the dude anymore. I don't think he needs the Singh brothers. Bring those guys back to 205 Live and then give the Bollywood Boys thing a go again. I think they could really benefit from that now that they're getting a tag team division. So I hope they do it. I really, really hope they do it. Michael Chow, don't even play the music. Sorry, Greg. Your dad's booking is absolutely piss. Enzo and Rishwan. Oh, God, yeah. There was a guy with a sign, was it last week, that said, what did it say? It was like, Enzo didn't do it or something like that. I'm like, how did that sign get in there, man? I remember when I brought like a CM Punk sign like way back in, I think it was 2015. They were looking for hardcore, and I was on the TV side. I don't know how that guy got that sign in there. That was crazy. Gallagher and Kendrick is pretty cool, Cuba Girl says. That's really cool. I'd love to see Gallagher and Kendrick go. That'd be a sick team. I could definitely get behind that. Or maybe Tyler Bate and Gallagher, the UK boys teaming together. That'd be something. I'm just excited for the Ultimate Deletion match on Raw. Okay. That's a 10 moment. Yeah, I'll give that here. Just for that, the Ultimate Deletion on Raw for Cupid Girl gets a perfect. Yep, there you go. Handing him out just like Oprah. But yes, thank you, Glorious Greg, for your tweets. And yes, I hope Bollywood Boys do come over to SmackDown 205 Live for the tag division. So yeah, big things coming to 205 Live. We get the tag team titles. We got the obvious, I'm not going to say spoiler for NXT. Big things for NXT coming up in the next couple weeks, leading up to NXT TakeOver New Orleans. Can't wait for next week's episode of NXT. Don't give a crap about the main roster. Won't be doing a Fastlane prediction because I don't care. Maybe I will do one. Maybe I won't. We'll see. Maybe Cappy will be better by Saturday and we'll do one. But other than that, guys, that's going to wrap it up here. Guys, tune in tomorrow on Tiffany's podcast, Dadass Podcast. I'll be co-hosting on there with the topic of third wheeling. So come hang out with us tomorrow night around 8 or 9 p.m. Eastern. I'm not sure. I forget what time it was. But come hang out with us tomorrow night on YouTube Live as we have a really cool podcast based around relationships. And we can still talk wrestling. We can do both. But I'll be co-hosting on our show. So come hang out with us tomorrow night. You need to stream on Twitch again. Yeah, I'm thinking about it, Tiffany. I've actually had something in the works. Possibly twitching something, which was kind of like in basketball, they have the NCAA March Madness thing. Maybe like a March Madness kind of wrestling Twitch tournament. Thinking about doing something like that. We'll see how it goes. But other than that, that is going to wrap it up, guys, for the Lowdown Show. Episode 93. We are so close to 100 right here on No Holds Barred Wrestling Podcast. Your Canadian wrestling podcast that talks about the WWE and No Holds Barred on anything we say. Pun intended. You can follow the podcast on Twitter at No Holds Barred WP. You can follow myself at Real Kyle Masters, and you can follow my co-host at Corporate Cappy. You can also follow us on Instagram, No Holds Barred WP. If you want to listen to us on the go, iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and Spreaker is where you can find us. Spreaker is a glorious podcast app that's available for all Android and Apple devices. And it is lets you chat with us live on the air. Sorry, I'm a little botching the outro here. And it allows you to listen to all previous episodes of the podcast. We also have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/NHBWR. That is where you can find all 2K content, unboxings, and video versions of the podcast. So hit that subscribe button, that bell icon for all upload updates. I'm your host, the self-proclaimed greatest host, Kyle Masters. And guys, I'm hoping my co-host Corbett Cappy feels better for next week. And on behalf of him and myself, we are reminding you to always keep it on the lowdown.
You're looking at the real deal now. Gonna kick your sorry ass out on the street. That what you got? You used to think you own the street. Well, back to back, and your ass is dead meat. Victory is sweet. Bring it on. Here's a receipt. Bring it on. What you gonna do about it? Bring it on. Is that what you got? Bring it on. So what you gonna do about it? Bring it on. Gonna kick your sorry ass, but what you gonna do?